So if you wonder how the West got into the absurd state that it's in right now, blame the professors. It's their fault. Here's from Libs of TikTok. Professor says she will require masks even though university policy is mask optional. She then accuses students who don't want to mask of being, wait for it, racist and ableist. That's right. I know it's a shock. That lunatic professor thinks everything's racist and ableist. At this point, they don't even need to tell us that. We just assume that's what they think. I do. Pro-mask, pro-abortion, Jessica Ann Pabon, with her pronouns, of course, she and ella, because I guess she's a Latina and she wants us to know that she's oppressed. She says, I tweeted a mask policy that has some thumbs up, and I need y'all to know. Y'all? Really? Aren't you a professor? Okay. I have tenure in women's gender and sexuality studies. Oh, it all makes sense. Okay. And we've cultivated a masking culture that returning students will expect. I acknowledge the privilege I'm exercising and wish I could share it with you. I tell you, these people are just walking parody. They seem incapable of doing anything that isn't utterly ridiculous. So what has she tweeted here? Masks. Though university policy states that we are mask optional, barring medical settings on campus, we cannot provide an equitable and just atmosphere for learning if we are not protecting one another by masking. Well, you're actually not doing that, but okay, whatever. Refusing to mask indoors is a manifestation of ableism and racism, an exercise of individual privilege that tells the most vulnerable people that their health does not matter. To practice community care, we will mask to protect those of us with compromised immune systems, those of us with family members unable to get vaccinated, those of us who do not want to transmit the virus to others, and those of us who want to avoid reinfection. I'm sorry, the cat's out of the bag. Masking doesn't do any of that. Like, everybody's either had it or they're going to get it. It's inevitable. It's just that catchy. And by the way, it's changed now. It's not the same as it was in 2020. But anyway, once again, we see the same kind of drivel just over and over again. Manifestation of ableism and racism. Care to explain? No, I guess you don't need to explain. I guess when everything is that, you don't need to explain. It's just assumed. And as for this, an exercise of individual privilege, well, wait a second. You here acknowledge the privilege that you're exercising in telling people to wear the mask. So it's privilege to not wear the mask, but it's also privilege to tell people to wear the mask. Oh, imagine my surprise that this professor's thoughts are completely incoherent. So this professor, who's in a nonsense department teaching nonsense studies, spouts a bunch of nonsense. Again, it's not surprising. Why do these departments even exist? The purpose of these departments, of these studies, of these people seems to be nothing more than to try and destroy Western civilization. I mean, what else do you call it? Because it certainly seems to be driving the people who teach this stuff mad. And not slowly either. And I have to ask the question, I mean, when does all this end? What, in a year? In 5 years? In 10 years? Is this professor one of those people that you see, walking down the street by themselves with a mask on, or driving in their car alone with a mask on? I mean, I'll give her credit. In this picture here, she's not wearing a mask. I mean, that must have been terrifying for her. But what can you expect from people in the woke cult? I mean, it's an ideology that utterly rejects even the smallest hint of stoicism in anything. It's its mortal enemy, in fact. Anything that might suggest that they're not the center of the universe, or to accept their mortality, or to accept that sometimes you've just got to get on with it. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. Sharing really makes a big difference. I notice when people share my content. Thank you for doing that. I will see you next time.